It's a YouTube sensation up in here. Oh, I need my notes. Oh, happy new year, happy 2026. I am so excited to be doing this. I have wanted to create a YouTube for ages, like ages and ages, because I feel like I really like long form content as a consumer, but also a lot of my ideas, I feel like I don't give them justice when I'm posting on TikTok and Instagram, because trying to condense something that has been given a lot of thought and time into a 60-second reel or like a 30-second clickbait trailer, I find it so hard. So this really is a space to just share ideas about community, connection, how to create feelings of belonging, creativity, and all of the things, content that I love sharing, but in a more intentional space. I have mantras for social media, and one of my mantras is intention over attention, and about creating longevity and meaning and purpose and ideas that actually have space to breathe. And yeah, I'm really excited to be embarking on this new chapter. And now, yeah, I've got to 2026 just feeling like I have the mental capacity for a creative project like this. And yeah, another mindset shift and mantra that I have been thinking of when it comes to content and social media is it's not about visibility for me anymore. It's about sharing ideas. And I went through this big values exercise and thought about what I really love and what I enjoy creatively. And I love sharing ideas. I love giving people the option to think about things differently. I love the conversations that come with certain topics, and this just feels like a really good outlet for that. So I'm really excited. I want to talk about 2026 as a whole and a recap of the deep dive report that I wrote late last year about what to expect from this year, because it's going to change so much. We've already started to see a lot of that change, and just share some ideas around, you know, what that could mean, what that will mean, and how you can start to think about how you apply that to your own work and your own strategies, your own community building efforts, and yeah, just a general deep dive on the juicy stuff from the report. So it's been predicted, but why can I not say that? It's been predicted that by the end of 2026, over half of the content that we see on the internet will be AI generated, which is quite a fascinating fact, quite a scary fact. But what that does mean is that there will be this real rebellion against AI, and this kind of proof of human and this proof of made by a real person will be really, really important. It's really sad, but I've actually seen a few creators being accused of being AI or making their content with AI recently, and creators that haven't used AI at all. And I think what we'll start to see is more raw, real, human-centered concepts and human-centered content that is imperfect. We already saw this last year, and I think we'll see much more of that. A really interesting take on this was promo for Marty Supreme, where he uploaded a really long Zoom call as part of his promo plan, and everyone went mad for it. I'll send a link for it in the comments, but it was a really interesting way of seeing how a celebrity with shitloads of marketing budget basically ripped up the rule book and posted this 18-minute long, or however long it was, Zoom call just sharing crazy ideas on how to promote a film. WGSN coined this year the year of digital exhaustion, the peak of digital exhaustion, and I think we're starting to see people really reject this idea of being an always-on content machine, churning. And with that, we'll start to see people create more seasonal content that has more intention, content that is more high quality, but less posting. And in tandem with that, we've also seen the decline of the kind of traditional influencer the kind of glossy facade is really starting to fade, and people want to create things with purpose. They want their voice to mean something. So with that, I think we'll see people, especially creators tend to lead the way and then brands follow, but creators really establish themselves as people who contribute to the wider conversation with alternative opinions, alternative perspectives, more meaningful conversations in general, which is a shift I'm really excited about and I'm really looking forward to seeing. I think looking at how brands jump into this new shift of purpose-led creation will be really interesting, because brands typically try and do things and end up looking quite performative. So I would love to personally see brands work with creators on this and create more purpose-led campaigns. I interviewed Fee Mackenzie, who is the founder of Creative Ally. Creative Ally is a purpose-led creator agency where she supports creators who are working to fight social change, social injustice, and basically share positive messages with the rest of the world. So I think we'll start to see more creators. I'm really hopeful that we'll start to see creators who actually want to drive change in their industry, partner with brands, which is super exciting. The third theme is being offline as a form of luxury. I've seen so many articles about this recently. I contributed to a women's health article last year. Vogue have been posting quite a lot on both Vogue Business and Vogue accounts around outdoor living, deleting apps, not being active on social media. The reality of this is the majority of people now have to use technology and social media within their jobs and as part of their livelihood. So I personally love the idea of intermittent fasting for technology, which is the idea of maybe having scheduled days of the week or phone limits, maybe between the hours of 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. where you use social media. I don't think people will ditch socials altogether, but I do think people will start to be more conscious about how and when they consume. So again, when you think about your content strategy, it's about creating touch points that you can connect with people both on socials and offline. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to create an event series. It doesn't mean that you have to create events. A lot of people in my community have said, like, I don't want to create events, I don't want to do offline events, it's not really what I like doing. And that's absolutely fine, but it's maybe about thinking about email marketing as a different strand, or a Telegram group, a WhatsApp group, or just creating really high quality content. The fourth theme is less broadcasting, more conversing. And what we're already starting to see, engagement dipped massively last year. I can't remember the exact stats, but Instagram's overall engagement rate dropped from something like 2.41% to 0.61%. I'll put the actual stat here. But essentially what that means is people are using social media as a space to do credibility checks and discoverability. So SEO and social for search will be massive as people use social media as a discovery tool instead of an engagement tool. So it's really about, again, creating opportunities for people to engage with you in direct messages, offline events, WhatsApp groups, community spaces that allow you to facilitate conversation and not just broadcast at people. So again, broadcast channels on Instagram is another example of how people are doing that, but we'll see that massively this year. Engagement will continue to dip with the rise of AI content, so it's really important that you have these spaces where people can actually participate. And then the final theme is what I've been saying for years and years. It's what my book is about, but community really is your currency. I wrote my book in 2022, and over the past few years, we've started to see this really take shape. The brands and the creators and the people who have really invested time and energy into building real advocacy through community and creating a sense of belonging are the people who will thrive. And again, that all comes down to things like inviting in conversation, creating content that allows people to feel part of something, not just talking at people, collaborations with purpose and intention and meaning, and also just really listening to people. One of the core foundations of creating a sense of belonging and allowing people to feel connected to something is to listen. And I work with so many brands, I consult with creators, and quite often a big challenge I see is that they're creating based on assumptions and they haven't taken the time to listen, ask, audit, analyze, and actually observe the people that they are trying to reach, which is such a big part of building a social media and an in-person community. You wouldn't walk into a friendship group or an event and just talk about yourself the entire time, not ask anyone a single question, then get up and leave and do the same thing again and again and again. So we have to think of social media spaces like in-person spaces where it's a two-way street, it's not transactional, it's about getting to know people and really serving that purpose. So overall, I'm really excited about this year. I think there's so much opportunity to create stuff that actually matters and stuff that has meaning, stuff that has purpose behind it, and yeah, really give people something to participate in and get creative and not feel this need, which I certainly have in the past, to be this content machine and just create and be visible. I definitely altered my relationship with that last year, and I'm really excited to just create stuff that feels like it has substance behind it. And I think storytelling, again, like all of this comes down to purpose and storytelling. There's a band I'm obsessed with who do this really well. Just to give you an example of what that kind of algorithmic rebellion storytelling looks like, they're called What More. I'll put their thingy here. But they create stories through their music and through their content. A lot of the time, like, the reels aren't even optimized for the right viewing experience. It's just kind of like, you can see they're just creating what they love, and it's really cool to see. So I'm excited to see how people enter this year, the stuff they come up with. I'm excited to see how brands respond. I'm excited to see how creators, yeah, really change things up. So thanks for tuning in. This has been really fun. I've enjoyed it. I feel like I need to like work on the lighting, work on how I prep and this kind of thing, you know. But better out than perfect. And yeah, I'm not gonna announce any kind of posting schedule yet because that feels scary. But I've really enjoyed sharing ideas in this format, and yeah, I think I will do it again. So any questions, let me know, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks, bye.